How does using service learning bridge the relationship between theory and practice for you as an instructor?
Well, this is a class that I've been working on for about 7 years, and so I would say that it has slowly evolved toward trying to make better bridges between theory and practice. So I would say that theory deals with how do we know what we know and why do we know what we know. But for the students, it's a far cry from actually going out into the community and seeing things work. So once I implemented the idea of service learning into my class, I found that I had to reinvent the way in which I teach, and it had to become much more of a discovery kind of process. So the occasions, the teaching moments that came up to demonstrate to students how they could apply these theoretical readings that we were doing, readings that were generated by museum professionals, by critics, by art historians, now became an actual problem-solving sort of situation. So many of the activities that the students were doing generated unexpected problems or just a different point of view than they really had expected to encounter. And the results were then that every class period had a kind of adventurous quality to it, because the students brought, out of excitement and interest, they brought whatever was currently on their plate, whatever they had been doing that week, to the classroom. And the class was, as I was, we were deeply invested in the idea that this was a common adventure that we were undertaking. So when they started to make these projects, such as the chair room, for instance, that's attached to the Western Gallery, all of a sudden it became quite real for them when someone dropped by and said, well, I don't really see why are you hanging these chairs up on this wall? Does this really have any purpose? I mean, what's to look at? Chairs are to sit on. So all of these kinds of activities really became quite immediate to students, and they were invested enough in it that it became a focal point of discussion where they attached the meanings and the questions actually to the readings. So in ways that I didn't expect at all, we would find connections with what it is that we were reading, whether it was about someone's preference for being in a museum space without any kind of labeling at all, in other words, no educational kind of function, instead you made the connections yourself, or whether it was someone who felt that you need to have ways to interpret and to express the meanings of art to someone who has no background whatsoever within it. So both the Service Learning Center and myself would offer, if some sort of problem came up, that we would help negotiate or interface with whatever that problem was. But in general, what I found is that the students really came through in taking this as a serious project that they needed to develop and to problem solve for themselves.